Got a dopamine rush, got a major league crush when you're next to me. Got my heart upon my sleeve, can I hide the way I feel when you're next to me, girl? Got the kick in every move and I fought just like a fool for you, for you. Wish I knew just what it was, but why should I make a fuss? Just stay next to me, girl, next to me, girl. Something special, don't know why, something special that I like about you, about you. There's a mystery entwined, something bigger to define about you, about you. Am I the only one to see? Got me down on my knees, taken by your gravity. And I just know you got that something, something special about you. Got me under lock and key, but I don't wanna be free when I'm next to you. You're like honey to a bee, I go crazy for the sweet when I'm next to you, girl. Got the kick in every move and I fall just like a fool for you, for you. It might seem that I'm dumb, but it's you that's got me stunned. Stay next to me, girl, next to me, girl. Something special, don't know why, something special that I like about you, about you. There's a mystery entwined, something bigger to define about you, about you. Am I the only one to see? Got me down on my knees, taken by your gravity. And I just know you got that something, something special about you. You got it down, shake my ground, and I can't get enough, got me spellbound. And every day, in every way, I just know there's something about you. Something special, don't know why, something special that I like about you, about you. There's a mystery entwined, something bigger to define about you, about you. Am I the only one to see? Got me down on my knees, taken by your gravity. And I just know you got that something special about you. Got a dopamine rush, got a major league crush when you're next to me. Got my heart upon my sleeve, can I hide the way I feel when you're next to me, girl? Got the kick in every move and I fall just like a fool for you, for you. Wish I knew just what it was, but why should I make a fuss? Just stay next to me, girl, next to me, girl. Something special, don't know why, something special that I like about you, about you. There's a mystery entwined, something bigger to define about you, about you. Am I the only one to see? Got me down on my knees, taken by your gravity. And I just know you got that something special about you. Got me under lock and key, but I don't wanna be free when I'm next to you. You're like honey to a bee, I go crazy for the sweet when I'm next to you, girl. Got the kick in every move and I fall just like a fool for you, for you. It might seem that I'm dumb, but it's you that's got me stunned. Stay next to me, girl, next to me, girl. Something special.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Amber Duggar and I'm the founder of Profit for Keeps, and it's our weekly live and I'm so happy to be here. I wanted to come on live for a couple of reasons. One, Becca asked a really great question that I wanted to respond to, which is all about Facebook ads and how to do Facebook ads when you're implementing Profit First and Profit for Keeps. So Becca is a PFK alumni, and she did this a few years ago. And so we have since updated our program to include this in the core program, but I want to just go over it with everybody here because I think it's really important, especially if you are utilizing Facebook ads as a main leads strategy. So before I get started though, I want to do some quick announcements. I want to announce that we are about to do our last masterclass series for 2023 next week. So if you have heard about this, or if you've been signed up before and you've wanted to do it and you haven't been able to make it, you now have an opportunity to come next week, Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. And so there will be no replays, so you definitely want to sign up and make a block in your calendar to come. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will not be thinking, oh my gosh, this is a waste of time. Trust me, I can't stand going to calls like that, so I really make sure that it's super value packed, and you can ask anyone who has come to one before that it is definitely worth the time. So with that, I want to just dive right into the question. So Becca asked, she is currently spending I think $1,700 a month on Facebook ads, or she did in her last one. She's a little bit concerned because she is feeling like, oh my gosh, I might be doing Facebook ads wrong. Because she saw in one of my Profit for Joy TV episodes, which is on YouTube, how I suggest doing Facebook ads, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. So first of all, let's talk about Facebook ads and the difference between an expense in your business and Facebook ads. So Facebook ads, when you're using them to generate leads that will ultimately, you hope to convert into a client, that is directly tied to revenue. Okay, so if you think about, like, if you're familiar with Facebook ads and how they work, essentially you're looking at conversion rates, you're looking at click rates, you're looking at all these different things to see how many people do I need to get this ad in front of to have a certain portion actually come into my community, and then a certain portion from that is going to purchase and become a client. Those expenses are directly related and tied to revenue. Meaning, when you spend, let's say, $1,000 on Facebook ads, and let's say you get a certain amount of leads from that spending, and then from that you get a certain amount of sales that you wouldn't have otherwise had, that is directly tied to revenue. Okay, so you can then, as you scale and start to look at your business from different angles, you can say, okay, well, if I spend X amount of money on Facebook ads, theoretically, I should have this much in sales. So you can see now that if you spend, let's say $1,000, let's say you get $5,000 in sales. And if you spend $5,000 and you get $25,000 in sales. So that's how it correlates. Now, we all know that there's no perfect world, there's no perfect calculation for this, and there's all sorts of other variables that go into that. But for the most part, when it comes to planning from launch to launch, you want to be able to replenish the amount of money that you're spending on Facebook ads so that it's available at the beginning of your Facebook ads launch versus having to pay for it after the fact. So what I mentioned in the Profit for Joy video, and we will link it below because I believe that's where she saw this, and I'm not sure exactly when that was, but I'm sure we can find it. We encourage you to have it be a materials expense. So everyone knows that's been in here a while, and if you're new, welcome, and welcome to our community, and I can't wait to meet you next week. I know we've had a lot of people come into our group just recently, so I'm so happy to have you. So that said, we have, let me think. When we're talking about revenue, we have all the money coming into the business, and then we subtract out expenses, we subtract out intentional profit, we subtract out the money that you want to pay yourself, right? And we also subtract out taxes, the money that you're putting aside for taxes. That's what builds up true revenue. But when we have something that drives revenue, we actually want to have it taken off the top. So instead, we have all revenue coming in. So let's say that we have money coming in from the Facebook ad spend. before we put our money through Profit First, we want to take a certain portion off the top so that we can use Facebook ads again the next time. So it's not covering overhead, it's not covering anything else, it's just covering essentially the same amount of spend for that revenue is coming off the top. Now, if this is confusing and you're going, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? Just know that we go into this in depth in Profit for Keeps, and there's a whole module on materials calculator, and we have a calculator that helps you with all of this. But essentially what I want you to just think about is when you have total revenue minus Facebook ads equals true revenue, and then from there, you can have that go through your Profit First calculator. So Becca, make sure to reach out to us because I know that you also thought you didn't have access anymore to the program. You do have access to the program you purchased, and then we can answer any other questions you have. So just send an email to support@amberduggar.com. Okay, so there's something else that I want to talk about, and it's about persistence versus hustle. So very early on, I'm just wondering, can someone tell me, is this video kind of lagging? It feels like it's lagging a little bit. Lately, I've been having a little bit of trouble with this, but I think it seems to be working. Okay. That said, we have people watching from YouTube and from our group and also from our page. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. I so appreciate it. All right, so persistence versus hustle. What is that? Well, when I first started as a health coach, I was really in a position where I was not making a plan B. I wanted to get out of corporate. I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to have a life of freedom. I wanted to be able to live and work from anywhere. And I truly wanted to be able to be there for my Nana because she was going through some health complications and she was my absolute best friend. And I wanted to spend more time with her. So I was determined to leave corporate and make enough money to make ends meet and not freak out. That's really what my original plan was. Now, I heard this person on a podcast talk about 50 health histories that she had done when they encouraged like 5 through IIN, which is the health coaching school I went to. I was like, 50? I'm totally doing 50. If she made it, I'm going to do 50. Now, that is not persistence. That was a hustle mindset for sure. I was very type A. I was very competitive. I really wanted to make sure that I got out there. And there's some really great qualities to that. I mean, it definitely got me out of corporate. It got me into living on my own and living in Bali and living this life. And there's a whole separate conversation around the fact that even though I was in Bali, the misery followed me. So it wasn't like that was the key thing that made everything better. But what I did learn was that while it did help me, I was very stressed. I was constantly working. I was never really making a lot of time for fun and for things that weren't, in my mind, driving the needle to make more money so I could remain safe. Because it was really just about a safety thing. I felt very unsafe not making money. So I was always thinking, how can I make money in an authentic, integral way? And looking back on that and now learning about the process of manifestation and how it's so important to use both discernment, the law of opposites, but also recognizing that you truly are creating your reality through your thoughts, through your feelings. And a lot of times our feelings come from energy. It does not necessarily come from our thoughts. I know that we've heard this for a long time, this model, your thoughts create your reality. I would actually say that it's the feeling that our body responds to the energy where we then choose to have thoughts around it. And if we maintain those thoughts, that creates our reality. But we have the ability to shift how we feel once we are aware of how we feel. And so when you think about hustle, it's very much a feeling of scarcity, pushing the envelope, not necessarily being aware. And when you think about persistence, it's much more about just not taking no for an answer. It doesn't mean that you force your way in. It doesn't mean that you say you don't take no in a particular instance. But overall, in the grand scheme of things, you don't take no for an answer. And I did not take no for an answer when it came to going back to corporate. No matter what happened, I just did not take no for an answer. That was my persistence. The way I was going about it had a lot of hustle in it. And that's where I've learned to really throttle back and remind myself that if we are not in a healthy state, if we are not taking care of ourselves, if we are not putting ourselves first, we cannot be there for others. Now, I know that I attract a ton of philanthropists. I know that I attract a ton of people who are looking to make a deeper impact beyond their own life. And I commend you. And I love that about this community. And that said, I think it's very, very important to remind yourself and to be given permission, give yourself permission to put yourself first so that you can run a profitable, sustainable business, so that you can sustainably give, so you can sustainably channel funds into places where you know you can create positive change. And that's where we really see an elevation of consciousness. So I hope that this is helpful. I'd love to hear in the comments if something sparked from this, if there's an idea you have, or if you have any questions. I also would love to know what day you're planning to come next week. I'd love to hang out with you. It's going to be a Zoom call, so I'm going to see everyone. I'm loving it. I'm so excited. I love doing these master classes because the incredible energy you guys bring is just off the charts. It is so much fun. So I cannot wait to see you there. And I love to hear from you, so let me know. Also, if you are a fan of Kate Northrup, I'm going to be going live with her later today on Instagram. I don't know exactly what time. Hold on a second. And I'm also going live with Gina. So Gina Cole, she's an amazing medical intuitive. I'm going live with her at 2:30 Eastern. And then I'm going live with Kate at 3:45 Eastern. So if you don't follow her on Instagram, make sure you do. And I think Gina we're also going live on Instagram. So, all right, everyone, it was great seeing you here today. I know that sometimes it's not easy to comment while you're watching, so that's totally fine. But if you do have any questions, please go in and put the hashtag replay if you're watching that, and I will come back here and answer anything you have. All right, much love to you all. Bye.